Jermall Charlo came out and stated that he really want to fight Canelo more than he want to fight Triple G. It's a matter of time. He got to start getting manipulated by the networks and calling my name. We can work something out. Trust me, I will fight him there in Mexico. I love Mexico. So Jermall Charlo is letting it be known that he will do anything in his power to get a Canelo fight, and that Canelo should do the same instead of calling out Grandpa Floyd Mayweather that was like 42 to 43 years old. If you want to establish your own legacy and erase that loss, how about fight Charlo? Beat a Jermall Charlo. Instead of wasting your time calling out somebody who's been retired for 5 years now. I mean, Canelo need to quit dodging Charlo. He been dodging him for the past 4 or 5 years. And I know people going to be like, what is you talking about? The Canelo fans hate to face the truth. But the fact is, Canelo been ducking the Charlo brothers since 154. And now, since Jermall Charlo been the mandatory at 160 for 2 years now, Canelo still ducking him. And he holds the belt, which is the WBC that Jermall Charlo is the mandatory for 2 years now. Triple G was ducking that action. Triple G ducked that action when the WBC mandated him to fight Charlo to get the Canelo fight. And he's still getting the Canelo fight regardless, even though they didn't. So, since boxing is so corrupted, and Charlo got to do the most to get a Canelo fight. Meanwhile, Canelo fights Rocky Fielding, who no one ever heard of, who only had a belt by luck, and then Canelo fought him by design. Meanwhile, Charlo already been champion at 154. He already proved himself and defended his title against the likes of J. Rock Williams, who's the unified champion at 154 at this moment. He knocked him out with a knockout of the year with a one-time-in-a-life type of uppercut that you will see in a counter fashion. So Charlo moves up to 160, is the mandatory for 2 years, and still can't get that Canelo fight. So what Charlo got to do, since boxing is so corrupted, he has to go to Canelo fights. He has to catch him slacking in the street one day and just get on camera where he either punks him or call him out where it's going to hurt his pride. Because I disagree with Charlo as far as saying Canelo need to stop letting the network manipulate him, blah, blah, blah. That ain't true. When Canelo Alvarez wanted to fight Lara because Lara disrespected him, Oscar De La Hoya didn't want that fight to take place. It was Canelo that wanted that fight because he kept getting pressed and pressured by his own fans, the Mexican fans, so he made that fight happen. He his own boss. If he wants a fight, he will take that fight. His team only helps him, and it's just an excuse and a cover to duck fights and cherry pick. So, at the end of the day, if Charlo punks Canelo, the pressure on Canelo will be so huge, and I feel like Canelo will step up to the plate then. Because that's what Lara had to do. I mean, Lara was calling out Canelo for the longest. That didn't do him no good. As soon as he punked him, then Canelo fought him. So that's exactly what Charlo needs to do if he wants to get that fight, or he gonna be chasing a ghost, in my opinion, because Canelo don't want that smoke. He don't want them problems. And like I said, Jacob win was great, but Jacob was just a good fighter at 160. He wasn't a top dog. Charlo is a beast, and we all know it. You know, Canelo fans could act like Charlo ain't this, Charlo ain't that. How about tell Canelo to prove it? Tell Canelo to quiet the critics. If he's a nobody, why doesn't he just get that fight out the way then? He fought Field when nobody wanted to see that bullshit. But he ain't gonna fight a guy like Charlo. You know why? Because he knows Charlo could beat him. That's why he don't want that fight. He want the risk to be worth the reward. Say that, you know what I mean? Say, hey, Charlo's too dangerous. Till Charlo becomes as famous as Mayweather, then maybe he fight him. say it like that, then okay, things will start making sense. But for you to say, oh, Charlo ain't this, Charlo ain't that, when Canelo Alvarez already fought fighters that's nowhere near the level of a Charlo. He fought guys that's not as good as Charlo, not even with their skills, that's not as a big of a name as Charlo, that's not gonna submit his name in the legacy like a Charlo fight, and also that doesn't have the resume of a Charlo. But when it comes to Charlo, I guess he got to go kill somebody before if he gets a title shot against Canelo Alvarez, when he's the mandatory and he deserved that shot. And basically, the politics in boxing, the dirty politics in boxing, I should say, is holding that fight back because they don't want Canelo to lose to a Charlo. So at the end of the day, like I said, y'all not making sense. Y'all points is not even relevant because doesn't add up. What I'm saying is facts, and all I'm saying is just we want to see the best fight the best. So if Canelo claim he the best, we'll fight the best in your division, the likes of Charlo and Andre. So why you gonna waste our time and your time fighting Triple G when we all know you most likely stop him this time? And Triple G ain't do shit but duck Charlo and Andre, and he didn't do none of the shit you said as far as go get the belt, etc., etc. So why you giving Triple G another title shot? It don't make sense. But it do make sense because we know he don't want no smoke with no Charlo brothers nor Andre at this point. So Charlo told him, I'll fight you in Mexico. I feel like Canelo need to bite it down on that because at the end of the day, that's your hometown. And on top of that, no way if the fight goes to a decision, you ain't getting it. Even if Charlo beats you 9-3. You know, basically Charlo got to knock you out to get the victory. On top of that, what I feel like Charlo should do is when he see him face to face, he need to talk shit. And he need to tell him to his face, I'm more Mexican than you. Like Berto told Ortiz. I feel like that's going to get to him. And then the fight might happen. So subscribe below if you're trying to get smart about him, and if you're trying to get dumb about a second, don't listen to these casual ass fans. And like I always say, peace. We out.